Hello, everyone. I am Jeneé Amore with AmoreAwareness, and today I'm going to talk about how to vet a relationship. So, a lot of us get into relationships, and sometimes it's just in the moment, and we go with the flow and this and that, but we don't take a step back and really evaluate the person. Do they fit all of my needs, all of my wants? And do you even have a clear idea of what you're even looking for? So, this is what you need and you must go by to figure out if somebody is good for you long term. Now, I do want to make a side note. It is okay to put people in categories. When you go through this list, you'll realize maybe they're not good long term, but they're good for me in this way or that way, business, whatever it is. You can definitely put people in categories. So I want to say that before I even get started. So the first thing I would say when you're looking for somebody in as a partner, you definitely want them to be attractive to you. That is number one. Whether you are a guy or a girl, you definitely want the person that you are interested in to be attractive to you. You don't want to wake up to somebody that you're like, oh, they're kind of iffy, but at least he has money, I guess the money will turn me on. I mean, that's a little gold digger-ish. So I would not recommend that. I do hear a lot of marriages and couples coming to me about how their sex life isn't that great and this and that. And I believe that it's because when the guy says, oh, well, the woman's not coming on to me or this and that, I believe that it's because she was never really attracted to him sexually. And she thought about all the logical reasons she should be with him. Maybe he's a good provider. Maybe he's a good guy. Maybe this or that. But like, he's not attractive to her. So when she looks at him, she doesn't get turned on. She doesn't wake up wanting to please him in the morning. She's not doing those things because she just doesn't physically find him attractive. And so that's a big issue. And I do think that there's a lot of, I guess, like condemning when it comes to women being so-called superficial, but like we're human beings. And if a man wants to end up with a woman who wakes up and is like turned on and is coming on to him and is initiating sex, then she should definitely be physically attracted to him. And of course, you want, as a man, men want to be physically attracted to women too. So men definitely got this part down, but I do feel like women do get shamed a little bit. So women tend to like, oh, well, I guess do I want a cute guy or do I want a nice guy? And it's like men aren't thinking, do I want a cute girl or a nice girl? They're thinking, I want a cute, nice woman. That's what they're thinking. So we need to get on that same wave and not have a lack or scarcity mindset. There are cute guys who are nice. I date them all the time. So that's number one. Do you find the person attractive? That's just off the bat. Number two, what are their morals? What are their morals? Like when you talk to them, you should kind of like figure out where their morals lie, like what they think in life. What do they want? Do they bring up marriage? If you guys talk about your future and goals, if you ask them what their goals are in 3 to 5 years and see what they say. If their goals don't align with yours, I mean, you don't have to have the same goals or the same exact thing, but it has to align. Like if they want to live in another country, but you want to stay in your country, that doesn't align. And if you care about somebody, you will want them to live their best life and the life that they really truly desire. And you wouldn't want to hold them back from that. So definitely find out first, like up front, like what do they want? Because you would feel really bad if they want kids, right? If they want kids, but you don't want kids. I mean, those things have to be talked about. I had a client of mine who said that she met this guy and he was great and this and that. And I was like, okay, so ask questions like, where does he live? And she was like, oh, he lives in San Antonio. I was like, well, do you want to live in San Antonio? She's like, no. I was like, well, does he want to move here? She's like, no. I'm like, well, what are you guys doing? It doesn't sound like it's going anywhere. And it's like, she was just so excited that this guy liked her back, I guess. It's that new relationship thing where you're like, oh, I have a crush and they have a crush on me back. This is great. Let's make it work. But then it's like, when you take a step back and you reevaluate everything, you're like, okay, step number one, we find each other attractive. Great. Check. And like, okay, it seems like a good person. Okay, check. But like, it doesn't seem like we are both wanting to be in the same place. It doesn't seem like we both want to go and do the same thing. I like them. I'm glad they like me, but I'm likable. So it's not about somebody liking me. It's about them being a good partner to me. It's about them being a good match for what I desire in my life. And that's how we should all approach relationships. So, and that's basically what I said for number 3 was like, where is he in life? Where do they want to be? So you do have to look at where somebody is right now, because there's who they are right now and there's who they want to be. And it could be the same thing. It could align, but just because they want to be that doesn't always mean they will become that. But if they want to be something else, you need to keep in mind what that is, because do you want that someone else? Or are you just in love with who they could be? Which gets onto my next point. Does it align with you on that path? Are you guys' paths aligned? And if so, if they're on that path, that's cool. But don't try to put them on that path. For example, if they say they want to, I don't know, be a doctor, right? But they're not in school, or they're in school and they're not getting good grades or something like that. It's like, it's not your job to push them to go to school or to push them to make better grades. Do you know what I mean? You can support somebody on their journey to being successful or achieving their goals. You can support them, and by supporting them, you're just saying, yeah, I support you. That's really what I mean. I support you. I'm here. I'm down with it. Yep. Okay. Oh, you need this? All right, cool. You got it. You know, like, not making it hard for them, making it easier for them, but you're not doing it for them. Like, I made mistakes in my life of, I've written, I'm laughing because I'm like, I can't believe I did this. I've helped write resumes for like an unambitious boyfriend that I had. I helped him write his resume. I was like pushing him. Like, I was like trying to figure it out with him. Like, all right, let's find your purpose today. Like, let's figure out who you can be. And it's like, that's not your freaking job, dude. Now, the boyfriend I had after him, when I realized like I never want to go through that again, I can't push anybody to become who they say they want to be. That's up to them. I ended up dating a guy who was exactly like that, where he said he wanted to be this and he made it happen. I didn't have to push him to do it. I just said, I was just more so of that partner, of that support system, of like where he could talk to me and we can bounce off ideas, but he went out and he made it happen, and he had the determination and he had the drive and he had the ambition. And that's the difference, is you can support someone, you can be their rock, you can throw those ideas back and forth, you can give them wisdom and good advice and things like that. And, if they need little things here and there for help, cool. Like, if they ask you for it, cool. But it's not your job to sit them down and to like write their reports or to help them apply for jobs. Like, that's not your job. That's not your job. So you can see the potential in someone, but don't fall in love with the potential, because the potential, it could happen possibly, but it doesn't always mean it's going to happen. So figure out who somebody is right then and there. And if you like who they are at the point that you meet them, that's perfect. And if they're going to get better, great. But don't be like, well, they could be this. Are you willing to be with the person they are now? Would you be willing to settle with the person that they are right now? That's a question you have to ask for yourself, and that's an important question to ask. And of course, how do they treat you? How they treat you is always a big deal. They have to treat you with respect. They have to respect your boundaries. You have to establish your boundaries, and you have to establish what you want. For them to even be able to meet that, you have to communicate your boundaries, your needs, your wants, your expectations, because people can't read your mind. And if you at least communicate it, you can say, well, I did everything that I could, and I communicated, I said what I wanted. So, I tried, I did my part. But if they never know and they fail you, that's kind of your fault for not communicating that. You know what I'm saying? Another one, how do they treat other people? That's a big deal. You can see, how do they treat their friends? How do they treat their friends when they're mad at their friends? How do they treat their family when they're happy, when they're mad at their family? How do they treat the waiter when they get irritated? How do they treat people when they're driving, when they're on the road, if they have road rage? How are they treating people? Because how they treat people and how they handle situations is how they're going to treat and handle you. So if you see them, or if you witness them be I don't know, disloyal or untrustworthy to a friend or a family member or something, like, if they're willing to do that, you are not safe. Your love does not make you exempt from them treating you the way they will treat other people that they so-called love and care about. So remember that. Be aware, pay attention. Do not be in denial of the things that you are witnessing. That's the biggest thing, is a lot of people lie to themselves. Do not be in denial of what you are witnessing. Another thing, the biggest thing, okay? Does this person keep their word? Now, to me, a man keeping his word is the biggest thing. If he's a dream seller, if he just speaks up a lot of things, if he just talks up a lot of stuff, that's not any good. That's not going to do any good for you. He's just selling you dreams. So do they keep their word? And it's the littlest things. Like, if they say they're going to call you at a certain time, they need to call you. And if they can't call, at least have communicated that they can't, that maybe something came up, or that they can't call. But if they're continuously, and of course, like there's always like, oh, well, this could happen and that. Okay, cool. But if there's always an excuse every single time, and this is happening often, he's lying. That's a liar. They have a lot of excuses. And if something's always happening dramatic in their life, maybe you need to give them some space anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, go figure that out. Go heal that. Go heal that. Because you don't need to be around negativity, and you don't need to be around that kind of energy. You see what I'm saying? So make sure that a person keeps their word. Keeping their word is like respect. If someone's just going to talk and say something and then they don't do what they said, I feel like I'm disrespected now. Like, you just disrespected me. Keep your word. Person who keeps their word, I feel like they are showing you respect. And they are a respectable person, because it means something for them to keep their word. And to communicate. And that's another thing. That's what we go into the next one, is communication. How do they communicate with you? Do you guys communicate the same? Do they have that respect? That's another one I wrote down. Respect. Respect. They must have respect for you, whether you are male or female. A man must have respect for his woman. The woman must have respect for her man. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They must respect you. And you have to respect them too. If you don't respect them, then that's not a good foundation for a relationship. Because if you don't respect them, that can lead to lies, that can lead to cheating, that can lead to so many things. That is a foundation of a relationship. I feel respect, communication. So all in all, when I'm going into, is this person good for me? I need to know that we are aligned mentally. Mentally meaning we have similar morals, we communicate well, we understand each other, we can get through those hiccups, we think we're both intellectually compatible. You know, if you're too smart for the other person, someone who's very intellectual, they could get bored, or they can get frustrated, very frustrated with somebody who's not intellectually on their same level. So you definitely have to be mentally equally yoked. You have to be spiritually on the same thing. As people can say that they're spiritual, but some people are more into energies and frequencies and vibes, while other people are more religious, into the church and the Bible. So there's different types of spiritual and spirituality, and you have to make sure that you both somewhat agree. And if you do have differences of maybe opinions, it's not that big of a difference, and it doesn't create big tension, because you definitely don't want that. And if someone's not spiritually on your same level, which I'm into frequencies, so if somebody's not on my frequency, if we both aren't on the same frequency, if they have lack, doubt, fear, worry, They're big worriers, they're big doubters, they're big fears. I can't be around that energy. It doesn't bring me peace. The person that you're with has to bring you peace in your spirit. I have to bring you peace. So if that person doesn't align with you on a spiritual level, then that's not the partner for you. And the third one, of course, is physical. So just like I said at the beginning, the person must physically be attractive to you and sexually attractive to you. So physical is your body, it is sexual, it is the way that you guys feel together, it is your passion. So you have to be on that same physical level as well. So when you are looking for a relationship, make sure you find somebody that is equally mentally, spiritually, and physically yoked to you. That is my advice on how to pre-vet a relationship. I am Jeneé Amore with AmoreAwareness.